key event this week was the US non-farm payroll. We had the non-farm payroll yesterday on the 2nd of July. The actual job was 850,000, so that is better than expected, because expected was about 700 plus thousand only. The unemployment rate went up a little bit, but that's fine because then many people are still on social security distribution this month. So next month they're expected to be back to work. The market received this US employment data with joy because we saw that the US indexes went up and we saw also the dollar actually move up as well. Then what's the implication for some of the things you might want to consider trading? And for example, gold, Bitcoin, and some of the Forex pairs. So let's take a look right now. First pair that I'd like to take a look is the euro dollar. We can see from the weekly chart that the trend line that I've drawn in here is still intact, which means that despite the strengthening of the dollar before the NFP, right, the euro dollar is still being supported at the moment. If we take a look into the day chart, so it's not difficult to see that we are seeing a weekly hammer look-alike pattern, right? So there was a bit of a selling before the NFP and even during the NFP, but soon the euro recovered its ground and the dollar started to weaken when the cat is out of the bag. You might want to put in a horizontal level here, so that's a previous low, and with the NFP, the horizontal support is still being supported here. The support level is around 1.1850. Alright, so let's take note at 1.1850. However, based on the weekly chart, even though that with the NFP, the euro is looking slightly bullish with the dollar weakening when the cat is out of the bag, based on the H4, we are still not witnessing a lot of bullish activity, right? So one of the things I like to take note of is that I like to see a retest, right? That means for price to test back towards this zone of support here. That means for price to test back towards the 1.1850, acting around this level to confirm there is a bit of a support. The pattern I'm looking at would be like a possible inverted head and shoulder here to confirm that there is a bit of a strength coming in. Thus, key level to look out for would be around this region at 1.1875 to this price here at 1.1885. Okay, key level 1.1875 to 1.1885. Now, if price can close above this region here, we might see a bit of a bullishness coming into euro dollar with a near-term target into the 1.1960 to 1.20. Alright, that is probably a range play for euro at the moment. Second chart to look at is gold. Gold landed itself in a very interesting position, I think, right? And that's near to this level here, 1,765. It was also a previous low that we saw during last year, during the November period here. Alright, now this is very interesting because it means that in a very important event like NFP, gold is still very much supported. Right, now, what are the things that we need to take note of? Number one is that they might be a possible inverted head and shoulder. Right, this means that this is likely to be a support for gold. Right, second, if this inverted head and shoulder really might happen, then key levels to note is that we can just apply in the Fibonacci retracement at this level. Right, this current level about 1,760 is also a Fibonacci retracement 62%. Right, it means that from the high from the low to the high, gold in this drop we retraced about 62%, landed itself into a previous low that is in turn becoming a very strong support. Right, so I'm watching to see whether this location is a support, but because of this huge drop down, I do not think that we're gonna see an immediate reversal immediately, meaning that I don't think that it's gonna go up very fast, very quick. Probably there might be a bit of a consolidation into this area. Therefore, in terms of trading strategy, we might be looking at consolidation patterns such as to trade within the range. Within the range means that potential here will be a resistance at about 1,800. Here will be a support at about 1,760. So we might be seeing a bit of a bounce here before gold coming into a bit into a decision whether it is really going to hit up or it's going to continue its downtrend. Now, in terms of the current trend, right, gold is still down. Let me just show the line chart so we can see a high, a low, a lower high, and a lower low. We might be having, in terms of the day chart, we might be having a double bottom pattern here. Therefore, it is very important to take note that the horizontal level at 1,800, I repeat 1,800, has been fully broken above, okay, to complete this double bottom bullish pattern. One of the observations that I made in yesterday's NFP was that the Aussie and the Kiwi, they were relatively stronger than Euro and Pound. Therefore, it leads me to come here to explore into, for example, the Euro-Aussie. Now, with the Euro-Aussie chart, daily chart right now, there is this trend line that's guiding it, and price has been pretty much resisted by this trend line here, as well as a horizontal level, the previous high, right? Now, if I were to flip that into a H4 chart, so this is a H4 chart. Now, what happened was that there was a steep down, but it's easy to spot. Potentially, we might be trading into a range, meaning that this Euro-Aussie is resembling like a equidistance channel movement. That means for price to reach the low and the target should be at the bottom. Okay, so this becomes a very interesting trade or interesting way for you to position or strategize your trade. Now, one thing I like to do is I like to map in the possible change of trend, right? We are seeing right now there might be a change of trend, because if this is a low point, so let me just mark this as low, and then this is a high point, right? This is a higher low, and then this is a higher high, all right? But what happened, right? Based on the NFP prices, then price has already closed below the higher low, the previous low at this point here. Now, this becomes interesting because if you can just wait for price to retrace back towards here, right, as a resistance, and to look for a reaction, a price reaction, we might be able to trade off this resistance here for another move towards the low of the channel. Okay, so do take a look out at around the level, which is about 1.58 level here, 1.58 to 1.5830, right, for a move potentially towards the low of the channel. The low of the channel is about 1.57 to 1.5680. I come to the end of the trades that I'm sharing today. Do let me know what are the trades that you'd like me to cover or you'd like to discuss. I'll be happy to discuss them here in the video. And if you'd like to use the same platform as what I'm using, which is Phillip MetaTrader 5 platform, please download a demo. Alright, see you again next time.